Hello and welcome. You're watching Markets Today. I'm Sakshi Batra, and this is where we discuss everything about the stock markets, the way the trade panned out today, also where were the gains and losses seen, which were the stocks that were the highlight of the day, and what are experts really talking about the next week's action. What can you expect on the markets as we move into next week as well? All of that coming up over the next 4 to 5 minutes. So do stay tuned onto with me on Business Today TV. Let's start off with first the closing action of the markets today. Of course, it was a volatile session. We did see the markets, trading in the green zone right in the first half of trading session. But towards the end of the session, the markets, in fact, erased all their intraday gains, ended in the red after a very, very volatile session. Almost all the sectors gave up their gains too. When you talk about the Sensex, it fell 664 points from the day's high to close at 55,769, down almost 49% or just 0.09% in trade. Talk about the Nifty, which shut shop at 16,584, down 44 points or 0.2% in the trade today. It also hit an intraday high of 16,794, but definitely could not manage to sustain onto those higher levels in today's trade. The Nifty Auto, in terms of sectors, was the worst index that shed around 1.8% today. The Nifty Bank, Metals, PSU, and private banks, realty indices also all lost about 1% each. The Nifty IT index was the sole gainer that was up 0.5% in trade today. In terms of the broader markets, the mid and the small cap sectors, they also fell in trade, almost in tandem or perhaps more than the benchmarks today. 1.5% down for the mid cap, 1.16% down for the small cap index as well. A whole host of other factors were important to track today, including the debut listing of Aether Industries that absolutely shone very, very bright despite all the volatility. It first listed at a premium. The stock zoomed ahead after opening with 10% gains. The stock was up more than 20% just ahead of the closing bell. In fact, it got locked at upper circuit today on day one. So very, very strong move coming in for Aether Industries, and the investors must be extremely happy. These kind of stocks listing, with absolute gains, do tell you and give you the confidence that despite the kind of overall market volatility, in case you are invested in some strong fundamentally good stocks, then definitely your stock will continue to give you returns. The good part is that we'll have to see whether Aether Industries is able to manage the kind of an up move that it has maintained today, even as we go forward into the next week as well. Because the next week, remember, is going to be very, very data heavy. There will be an RBI monetary policy that will start June 6th onwards. On June 8th, you will get to know what has the RBI decided in terms of interest rates already in and out of turn. RBI has moved to hike 40 basis points kind of a repo. The RBI governor has already indicated in media that it's a no-brainer that they will continue to raise their interest rates even going forward. By how much it happens is the question. Most of the street are estimating about 25 basis points high. Perhaps the experts believe that markets have already discounted this kind of a high, and if it comes in in line with the expectations, perhaps the markets will continue to move higher as well. Also, when we move forward from here, it will be very important to track the way individual stocks move on the back of earnings as well. We are absolutely at the fag end of the earnings season. Very few names coming about with their earnings too. So those once get done will be the actual important data counting as well as the macro focus of the markets that will return, and of course on inflation, on interest rates, on the economy level. All of those factors will be very, very important to track. In other important stocks today, of course, Reliance Industries managed to gain another 2% in trade today. That stock very, very shone brightly in today's trading session as well. It was a top gainer on the Nifty 50 at 2778. Experts are still bullish on the stock. It has been continuously announcing some more acquisitions in terms of the subsidiaries. Infosys was up by 1% today. L&T, Sun Pharma, HCL Tech, those were the gainers today. What declined in trade? Ultratech, Grasim, those cement majors declined sharply. Grasim down 6.5%, Ultratech down 5.5%, Shree Cement down 5%, Hero Moto and Maruti, other two losers in trade today. So the auto and cement companies really, really, seeing sharp declines in trade today, overall speaking as well. Now, when you talk about the India VIX, that continued to maintain below the 20 odd mark, so that was at a comforting level, despite the kind of volatility that we have seen. Apart from IT, all the other sectors definitely ended in the red. So that's another important point to keep in mind. As we move forward, like I said, a whole lot of focus will be on the macro data as we move forward from here as well. But in case the markets see a bounce back from here and are able to sustain on a closing basis above 16,700, then most of the experts have been telling us on Business Today TV that 17,000 cannot be ruled out in the short term as well. Be prepared for all that volatility and brace up for some more ups and downs, but keep staying invested in this current market as well. In case you are invested in fundamentally good stocks, these kind of volatile bouts can actually turn into good opportunities for all the long term investors. With that, I'll wrap up right here, but do stay tuned on to Business Today TV as a whole lot of news flow will continue right after this too.